So just lift and roll your shoulders. Lift your toes and just really connect the toes to the ground. And breathing in, turn the head to the left. Breathing out, turn the head to the right. Into the left. Out to the right. And a couple of times in your own breath pattern. And then come back to the center with your head. Lift and roll your left shoulder. Lift and roll your right shoulder. And just connect the fingertips to the collarbone. And breathing in, open the arms forward. And breathing out, bring the fingertips back. And breathing in, out. And then breathing out, just settle in when you're ready, back. Breathing in, fingers out. And breathing out, fingers back. Breathing in, fingers out. I'm just looking at spaces, so you could either go between the two here, or you could go here. Okay, you choose. Breathing in and breathing out. And then just keep your fingertips at the collarbone and just start to circle your elbows forward. Now, focus on the rotation of the shoulders. So if you're classically, your elbows would meet, but that's quite a strain on your upper back. So just enjoy the circle to wherever works for you. Just feel the stretch under the upper arms. Just connecting into the upper lymphatic system. And then reverse the circle, so you circle the shoulders backwards. Feel the stretch, and then just finish your circle and release the arms down. Just lift and roll the left shoulder and lift and roll the right shoulder. And then circle the wrists up, stretch out and up, slightly lift the chin, you'll feel the lift in the chest, bring the head upright and circle the wrists down. And then bring the palms together, and I'm hoping that you're going to instantly get what I'm saying. So palms forward, backs of the palms together. You're just rolling around the hands, which is very good for the wrists. And if you can bear to do this, reverse, so hands go out and then just circle around that way. And then just shake your hands, shake one foot and then shake the other. And then just lift your right heel, circle the heel, which means circling the ankle in one direction, and then circle it in the other direction. And then place your right foot down, and then lift your left ankle, and then just circle it in one way. And then circle it in the opposite direction. And then just release the feet down. So just lift and roll the shoulders again. Bring the hands to the heart center. Circle the arms up. Clasp and reverse, palms upwards. Press the feet into the ground. Very familiar, lateral stretch. If you're going to the left, doesn't matter if you've gone the other way. And then breathing in, come up to the center, stretch up. and breathing out, go to the other direction. And then center and rotate to the left. Come to the center and rotate to the right. And then come to the center, stretch up, press the feet into the ground, and then just lower the hands back down alongside you, lift and roll the shoulders. And place your hands on the waist. Maybe have your feet a little bit wider than hip width apart. Once more, turn to the left as you breathe in. Breathing out, turn to the right. Into the left and out to the right. Into the left and out to the right. Come back to the center of the head and just gently soften the knees, going as low or as feels good for you, and just feel the abdominal muscles engage. You can bring your bottom back if that works for you. And then just very gently press your feet into the ground and come back up again to standing. And release. Breathing in, raise the right arm and circle the wrists in one direction. And then circle the wrists in the opposite direction. And then lower the right arm. And lift and roll the right shoulder back. And then raise the left arm. And circle your wrists in one direction. And then circle the wrists in the other direction. Stretch up. And then lower the left arm. Lift and roll the shoulders. And then step your feet a little bit to hip width apart maybe. And a very familiar Tai Chi movement really. All your joints as you fly. If you feel that you want to adjust your feet wider or closer together, then feel free to do that. You can feel as you bend your knees that the ankles and knees are there. Hips are obviously moving. As you're lifting your arms up to shoulders, that involves to some extent the neck, the underneath the arms, all on the intercostal muscles, the elbows, the wrists. You can involve your fingers if you want to. So movement of the joints is the opposite of stagnation, and movement is good. And then last time, and then just release and lift and roll the shoulders. Bring the hands below the navel and just connect into your breath. So this in Eastern yoga, it's Vihara, just below the navel, and in the Chinese world, it's Dantian, I believe. So it's your centre, it's your core being, and it's where we're often out when we're scattered and things happen to us. We kind of lose our own inner power. And this is our, it's called the Manipura chakra. So in martial arts, and you could consider yoga a very out there, gentle martial arts, you need to be strong in your core for your whole body and emotional strength. And this is where we often lose most, particularly if you're quite a giving person. You're giving out all the time, you're not actually getting a lot back, or you get sabotaged by people, things that dogs that can take endlessly, not ever give, cost you endless money. There's obviously a very relevant point at the moment. And then just very, very gently release the hands. And then just slide your hands down down to the shins. Breathe in, press the hands into the shins and lengthen, half lift. Perhaps engage the perineum upwards. Breathe out, soften the knees and bend forward. Breathe in, lengthen. And then just bring your hands behind the calves and just hold the backs of the legs. If you want to soften your knees, you can do so. Just try and have your sit bones up high and take an in and an out breath here. And then very gently soften the knees, press the feet down, and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. And when you arrive, lift and roll your shoulders. And then again, circle the arms up, just have the thumbs meeting. And then just sway gently from side to side. Swaying palm tree, it's very releasing for, I know this sounds weird, but pain. I could go into a long explanation. It's the air element that you find in the Vata dosha in Ayurveda. And Vata, out of balance or too much, is out of balance, is always responsible for pain. So this is a balancer. And you also, by holding your thumbs, don't go too far. You're not likely to overstretch yourself. And then come to the center and just release and circle the arms back down again. And lift and roll the shoulders. Just step with your feet out a little bit to beyond hip or hip width or hip width prior. Mindful of your neighbour, so we'll just do a very gentle sway from side to side. All your energies, and again, if you feel you need to adjust your feet, then do that. So all 5 energies classified as the anas, Ipana, Prana, Dhyana, Samana. Did I say Udana? Then just very gently come to standstill. So you've got 5 energy markations on the wall. You've got more actually, but the 5 main ones are under the soles of the feet, the perineum, the diaphragm, and the throat area. And they designate if one area is blocked, then the rest will be out. So that side to side kind of releases those energies and just kind of sets everything. And then hands together at the heart center. Breathing in, circle your hands up. Really stretch your 3rd finger. And then hands together. Come through the center. Bend the knees. Hands onto the shins. Your half lift. Chin is slightly into the chest. You're long on your neck. Extend the back. Breathing out. Soften the knees. Bend in. Breathing in. Half lift. Stay here as you breathe out. And breathing in, soften the knees, press the feet into the ground and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. When you're up, take a breath out, and then when your neck's ready, breathe in and just stretch the arms up. Breathing out, lower the arms back down alongside you. Come back to hands at the heart center. Maybe soften the knees as you circle the arms up, stretching up, palms together, come through the center, soften the knees, and again slide the hands onto the shins, half lift, breathing out, soften the knees, bending, breathing in when you're ready, half lift again, and stay here as you breathe out. And breathing in, press the feet into the ground and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Stretching the hands up and breathing out, lower the hands. And we'll do one more half salute to the sun, hands together at the heart center. Soften the knees as you circle your hands up, really stretching up, palms together. Come through the heart center. Soften the knees, slide the hands to the shins, breathing in, lengthen, half lift, breathing out, softening, breathing in when you're ready, lengthen, and stay here as you breathe out. And then breathing in, soften the knees, press the feet down, and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. And breathing in, stretching the arms up. And breathing out, lower Bring the hands to the heart centre. This is a meditative movement at the heart centre. Breathing in, hands out. Breathing out, hands back. Chin slightly to chest. Breathing in, hands go sideways. Breathing out, hands together. You only move your hands as little or as much as you like. Breathing in, hands out. Breathing out, back together. Breathing in, hands out. Very calming for the nervous system. You're coordinating your movement with the breath. It becomes a moving meditation. And then make the next one the last one. And then lower the hands. Lift and roll the shoulders. Bring the hands to the heart centre. And we're going to come to a seated position. Have your legs out in front of you. And flesh out from under the bottoms if we need that, which we might do. Hands just gently to the side, just bounce. Rub the legs, pat the legs, rub anywhere on you. Like a dry skin brushing, bounce the legs, just boost your circulation. So helpful. You can do it with dry brushing in the morning. Really helpful. Vibration in the morning is quite help, like dry skin brushing, circulation and general skin health. And then I was talking to Sue yesterday about, we were talking about just this weird, just rest your hands, connecting your big toe joints, but you were saying that there was an article in the paper about not that we're old, but older people.
Yes, it was they're trialling it in old people's homes. It's like a plate that they sit down, but they put their feet on the plate and it vibrates. And it sends a vibration up through all the body, and apparently it's very stimulating for them.
Yes, it's all like on the news on television.
Yeah, but it's working. They've been trialling it and it's working really well.
Well, this is the manual version.
Yes,
Not
quite old people probably couldn't do that. They'd have to just
Yes.
sit there with their feet, you know.
Yes. Well, I'd buy one. I'd love to have my feet massaged. It feels useless. It just loses interest in about the first nanosecond. Can you? What are they called? Foot plates or something?
I was just going to say vibrators,
Vibrators,
but
but
not
That's not the one
I might not forget what you were looking for. I suppose vibration plates, something like that.
Right,
You just be careful what you see what arrives on the doorstep from Amazon.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Yes. Yes.
What's this? Our search history, Mum.
It's not what I wanted. A friend, Janet, was talking about a website she was looking at, and I thought, well, I'll have a look at that. I realised it was very racy. I hope my history's not being tracked. You'll get the police on my door or something.
You get all sorts of spam, won't you?
Yeah,
Yes.
you'll start getting, it'll start,
Come on, email.
it starts popping up things that you don't want to
Yes.
see.
Yes.
Or maybe you do.
Yes.
I don't know.
Larger penis.
Oh, yeah.
How
do you think it was experience?
Yeah, years ago there was this big email going around. This is about 15 years ago. All about enlarge your penis.
Yeah.
Really?
Clearly, exactly. Clearly don't know who you're emailing because I don't have one.
I was thinking about something defining what is a woman. There was some kind of rant going on about it. Just circle your ankles in one direction and circle your ankles in the other direction. Yes. And then just stretch your toes, but try not to give yourself a cramp if you just bring them in. And Then I was going to focus still on the eyes, which is mindfulness. If you're uncomfortable with your legs out, then do come to a seated position. I know you're not a fan of cross legs, so so just come to be comfortable, and we won't be here very long. If you bring your any hand up and extend your thumb, that is the centre of an imaginary clock. You don't have to keep your arm up. You could imagine that and just drop your gaze. Now you know where your centre of the clock is. Hold your knees if you've got crossed legs. And then if you keep your head still and raise your eyes up to your eyebrows, but your head is still, that is apparently moving the eyes and disconnecting the eyes from the stress centres of the brain. So it's an automatic mindfulness perspective change, but obviously an eye exercise. Bring your eyes to your centre of your clock, and then keeping the head still, drop your eyes down to your 6 o'clock. So that might be a bit more of an effort. Bring your eyes to the centre and move them to your 3 o'clock, but your eyes, your head stays still, so your eyes are having to do the work. Come to the centre and then to your 9 o'clock, same thing. You come to the centre. Now go to 10 past the hour. Come through the centre and go to 22 the hour. Come to the centre. Go to 10 to the hour, centre, and then 20 past, centre. Now just drop your eyes to 25 past. Come back to the centre. Drop your eyes to 25 to and see if that's really it's going on your circle. You don't normally move your eyes like that. Centre, and then 5 to, centre, and 5 past, and centre. And then we can go around the clock, but we have done that. I just wanted to demonstrate just when you do that, your eyes have just slightly, like when you balance, just slightly alter your brain patterns. And in fact, there's some research going on in the States. I don't know if you've clocked on this. They're doing, is it REM eye movement? When you move your eyes, if you move your eyes, which does my head in rapidly from side to side, I'm trying to keep your head still, it alters your brainwave patterns, and it's a very quick way for and they're trying it for post-traumatic, post-traumatic stress syndrome. And you're going from your eyes from side to side. And then just because your head will have been done in by that, just rub your hands and just place your hands over your closed eyes, palming. Open your eyes into the darkness of the hands to soothe the eyes and just take your hands away. Yes, and in things like Yoga Nidra, some of the more in-depth training, they'll talk about eye movement and controlling the brain patterns and getting the brain waves to go from its normal operation, is it beta, down to theta and the lower brain waves, because when your brain is operating at a lower thing that you have, like when you're sleeping, your delta waves, it's more relaxing, but it also is more creative, so it releases your creative thing. So you get that when you sleep, of course, but as I said, and certainly for, I think they started on war veterans in the States, but they extended that to people. The eye movement from side to side rapidly is a very, very quick way to decrease stress, real stress. I don't like the feel of it. It just makes my eyes go funny, but I suppose with that stress, then maybe it's worth doing. But it just is interesting on the brain waves, because once you start learning your brain waves, your creativity and other aspects of your being come to the fore, because you've got to be relaxed to be creative. You can't be stressed out to be or in your best thinking mode. So again, quite interesting. So we're going to come to lying on the floor with feet bent, knees bent, feet hip width apart, just be comfortable. And just come to place your hands on your abdomen. I'm going to put you on the spot, Charlotte, because I always forget. When you breathe in through your nose and you breathe out through your mouth, I know that raises the nitric oxide level, but tell us what also it does, because I know there are lots of benefits.
Well, nitric oxide is a vasodilator. It dilates your blood vessels. And it also it dilates the smooth muscles, so it increases your airway size as well. The airways in the lungs, dilates the lungs and dilates the blood vessels.
Brilliant. See, I couldn't have said that.
So
So
could you
breathing,
just repeat that? That's very...
breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, and Charlotte go again.
So that dilates your blood vessels all through the body and dilates the airways as well in your lungs.
Right.
In through the nose, out through the mouth.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I know it increases nitric oxide, but is that what that's...
And that's what nitric oxide does, yes. It relaxes
Right.
smooth muscle.
So anytime you're a little bit stressed over Millie's tooth, Millie is Natalie's dog who's got a tooth that's needs some work doing, which is very expensive. £750 for a doggy tooth out. I mean, it's like she's a gold dog, you know, she's like gold dust, you know, she's
The Queen.
the queen, yes.
She's insured.
I was going to say, is there insurance then?
Still have to pay part of it.
Yeah,
Mm.
there's an excess, isn't there? So anytime, again, you want to de-stress, and this is, you'll find this very much in Wim Hof, who's like the Iceman breathing techniques for, you know, well, in his case, survival and toughening you up, but it de-stressing as well. So another relaxing thing to do. Just enjoy the breath, breathing out through the mouth, calming you down. And before we leave the breath and go on to some somatic movement, another thing, and I don't know if you've got a view on this, Charlotte, in a branch of yoga which looks at the mudras, which are energy seals, it's a very fascinating branch, but there they say that if you ever are having difficulties breathing, if you take a finger, I tend to use the third finger, and just press it on the end of your nose in and then push the nose up. You look awful. It opens the airways to the lungs as an emergency helper if you've got a cold or something, you can't breathe. And I don't know why that should be so. Pushing the finger into the nose, really the tip of the nose, and just pushing up, just opens all the airways. So again, if somebody had an asthmatic or a stress out attack, a real panic attack, that would be another thing. But have you got any view as to why that would be so helpful or not?
Well, I guess it just shortens, I mean, if it opens the nasal passages better, then that makes you feel better. If you feel you can get air in better, and you are getting air in better, then that makes people feel better, doesn't it, I guess?
So it's both nostrils, not just
Just the
one.
centre, just the absolutely
Just
on
the
the tip of the
centre,
nose.
not... Right.
So
Just-
you're making a more direct line to get the air into that.
So push in and up.
Right.
So you look like a little spaniel with a lovely little slab nose coming up.
Yeah.
Sometimes as well it distracts from what you're feeling if you're doing
That's a very good
something.
point.
I wouldn't say it's going to cure asthma though.
No,
No,
no, but if it
that
is
is not
just
gonna
like
help.
a panic thing, actually doing something, it distracts from your thoughts about what's going
Yeah, it's not
on.
asthma,
So,
that's for sure. You need to give someone bronchodilators for that asthma. It's not going to work.
We ought to have Patsy here because she suffers from asthma. So, hands either on the abdomen or palms down. And Sue's already started just swaying your knees from side to side. Your hips will lift off the ground as you go from one side to the other. And your hands, as I said, can either be palms down alongside you, or they can rest on your abdomen. Or if you particularly want to think about boosting under your arms and going to your lymphatic system, you can bend your elbows and have your arms up above you, either holding your wrists or your forearms or your arms apart. As an option, that's a stronger option because it really pulls under the arms. So it's wherever you feel comfortable. You're going to get your lungs open as just almost as well by holding on to, just hands connecting to the tummy, the abdomen. Because you're giving space, but whatever works for you. And again, when talking about stress, when this is a somatic movement in that you're really feeling the movement from side to side. And when you feel something, you take the brain or the mind out of the equation. There's no thought process there. And so you're releasing the mind from, again, stress out. So you can either keep with your movement from side to side, and you've got the option of involving your head. So yogically, you can move your knees in one direction and your head away from the direction of the knees. But if you find that you like to move your head and your knees in the same direction, non-yogically, that's absolutely fine. You've still got the function of this somatic movement, which is now involving the head. And your hands can stay on the abdomen, or be palms down, or just still rest above you. You're massaging across your sacrum and lower back. You're massaging across the back of the head. The neck's getting a very gentle movement without straining or stressing it. We tend to tense our neck or shoulders when we're stressed out, or there can be a tendency for that to happen. So this is quite a nice way to relax that. And then just enjoy the last couple of sways from side to side, and then come to bring the knees back to the centre. Just bring your feet slightly closer to your bottom, and now palms down alongside you, to either side of you, and just a couple of pelvic tilts, flattening the back as if you're lifting your bottom, and then releasing so that there's a little gap under your lower back. And just a couple of times in your own breath pattern. So the focus now has changed. It's still at the lower back level, but it is actually lower back, top of the bottom, the lumbar vertebra, just in a slightly different way. And then keeping yourself, go back to neutral, keeping your right foot where it is. Hug your left knee into the chest, and holding the left knee, just let it drift to arm's length as you breathe in. And breathing out, hug the knee back into your chest. And just carry on doing that a few times in your own, to your own breath pattern. And this works once more on something I mentioned, the Vata energy. Vata is out of sync if we're in any pain, so this is very pain relieving generally for the body and for the emotions as well. And one side at a time can be more effective as you really focus on that side. And then make the next hugging in the left side, the last. Support your left knee as you place your left foot on the ground. And then gently bring your focus to the right side, keeping your left foot where it is, or adjust it to where it's comfortable. Hug your right knee into your chest. And then very gently do the same. So as you breathe in, let the right knee travel to arm's length. You're holding the knee and then hugging the right knee into the chest. And just do that a few times in your own breath pattern. As a sweeping generalization, we tend to be more compromised on our right side by virtue of the fact that more people tend to be right-handed, and we tend to lead with our right foot, and we tend to do everything on our right side. So in yoga therapy, you start with the good side first. Of course, there's going to be someone here who's the other way around, but anyway, you start with the good side first, and then you spend slightly longer on the, in brackets, bad side. So again, this works on the Vata energy. It's very helpful for movement at the lower abdominal level. And it works on the foundational of those 5 energies, the Apana energy. And if the Apana or your foundation is out, like anything else, like a building, if the foundation's out, then the whole lots out, so the foundational energy is really, really important. And the blood is, I don't know if you can feel it, as you're pulsing on your lower back here, the blood is flowing freely all the way along the spine, through the back of the neck. It's just, well, it would be doing that anyway, but it's just not kinked or the body's not being asked to hold the body upright. The muscles can begin to relax. And then just hold the right knee into the chest with the right hand and let the left knee join and hold it with the left hand, both knees in. If you're finding that your tummy's a bit squashed, then you can have your knees a little bit wider apart. Both knees hug into the chest, both knees drift away to arm's length. Both knees hugging into the chest and then both knees drifting away to arm's length. And again, just carry on doing that in your own breath pattern. In yoga therapy, they don't count for minutes, they count by the number of breaths. And so the whole class plan is written on the number of breaths. And on this particular sequencing, an in and an out breath is a complete breath. And this is prescribed to do this 6 times. And if someone's got a bad back or is in any kind of state, then you do it several times during the day. Really soothing. And that yoga therapy, all the sequencing comes from some training that I did from a centre at the Krishnamacharya Centre in Chennai. Not that I've been there, but they came over here to London. It was the only time they ever came. It's really, really fascinating. And then very gently hugging both knees into the chest. Raise the left leg to the ceiling and the left arm up and behind you. Extend the left heel. And then breathing out, hug the left knee into the chest. And then breathing in, extend the right leg up to the ceiling, extend the right heel. And right arm behind you, chin in, neck long, and then breathing out, hugging the right knee into the chest. And again on the left side, as you breathe in, extend the left leg, left heel extends up to the ceiling, left arm. Breathing out, hug the left knee into the chest. And breathing in, extend the right arm and right leg up to the ceiling. And breathing out, hug the right knee into the chest. Hug both knees into the chest, and this time just gently rock from side to side. You might rock a little bit, you might rock right over to the side, so that the back of your, almost your elbow, the back of your arm is on the ground. So again, your back of your head's being massaged. How much you roll is up to you. You can a little bit or a lot, it's all very beneficial. And then very, very gently come to the centre and slide your hands down your shins so that you're holding just above your ankle and your knees are out in a little V and your big toes are not necessarily touching but they're aiming towards each other. And just take a couple of breaths here. So here we're opening the inner groin. It's like a seated Baddha Konasana. It's a supine version. There are different supine versions. Everything has modifications in yoga. But you're opening and connecting into the lower lymphatic system. Helpful for blood flow into the lower abdominal area. And then slide your hands up the shins, hug both knees into the chest. And then drop the hands underneath the thighs, both thighs. Maybe clasp your fingers together. And just soles of the feet up or your knees can be bent to the ceiling, just swaying gently from side to side, like a flower blowing in a very gentle breeze, or a piece of seaweed just moving slightly in the water. So this is a very simple inversion, which is supposed to balance the hormonal system, the endocrine system. To get real balance, you would probably need to have your legs up the wall or over a chair for up to 15 to 20 minutes. This is just a nod to balancing the endocrine system. And then very, very gently let your legs come to the centre. And then just very, very gently hug the knees into the chest. Once more. And then place the feet on the ground. And then roll the legs to the side. Or we're going to come up to a seated position, so however you do that works for you. So you roll your knees to the right, away from the heart, but however you want to come to a seated position is up to you. And we're going to do our cat-cow in a seated position. If you don't like crossed legs and have your legs out, hold your knees and breathing in, lengthen the body, breathing out, chin to chest. And do this a few times in your own breath pattern. Very fluid, soft movement. You're not going to go too far if you're holding your knees. And then just very gently come to the centre. Just bring your left hand to your right knee, right hand behind. Just breathe in, sit up, and then just turn to look over your right shoulder. And then turn your head back to look over your left shoulder. Go over your right shoulder again, and over your left. Bring the head back to centre, and come to hold both knees again. And then right hand to left knee, left hand behind you. Turn to look over your left shoulder. And very gently turn back to look over your right shoulder. So again, this is a somatic movement. Go to the left, but also a mindfulness exercise. Your perspective is being altered, and back to the right. Come to the centre with your head, hands on both knees, and just a nod forward, lengthening, leading with the chest, just to nod forward. You can walk your hands slightly forward. It's just a semi-mini compensation for the turn that we made. Breathing in and out. Then sliding the hands back up to the knees. Just walk your left fingers to the left, tummy in, bend at the right elbow, just a gentle chin in, coming over, stretching out the right side. Tummy in as you press your left hand down, come upright. And then just walk and slide your fingers to the right, bend at the left elbow, chin in, just a gentle stretch over to the right, extending the left side. And then come back with your hands. And then just bring your hands slightly back. Press your hands down or onto your fingertips. Just lift the chest and slightly lift your chin. Again, eyes looking up, mindful, calm, disconnecting, altered perspective. Uplifting for the mood because it's classified as a back bend. You're lifting up the chest. And control, not throwing the head back, just a gentle lift of the chin. And then bring the head upright. Just bring your hands out and hug yourself, coming forward. Just gently, slightly move from side to side. Breathing in, sitting up and open your hands the other way. Other hand on top. Self-compassion, which then you can send out to wherever or whoever you think might need it. And then just very, very gently bring your hands to either the knees or the heart, or one hand at the heart and one hand at the navel. And I was going to read you a poem. Carol gave me this book, so it's a shame that she's not here. And this is about senses. It says, simple stillness soaks the senses. Sounds of cars, birds and barking dogs. Smells of sweetness emerge from flowers and shrubs. Touching the magic of delicate grasses under my feet, tasting the meaningfulness of the morning air. Wrapping my arms around these senses stimulates every cell that rises within. I nurture, arouse, and empower this moment to withdraw, hailing the light therein. So,